Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. We're broadcasting live from Yazoo City, Mississippi today. As you can see at Max WYED 94.1 FM. We want to welcome those tuning in on Facebook, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. We're glad you all can be with us. Going to connect with our friends over on Amazon so we can get into today's show. Have some great guests coming up for you all today, both virtually as well as in person here in Yazoo City. Going to be kicking it off with one of our special guests that's joining us from California today. But we're now live on Amazon Live with Cyrus Webb Presents, broadcasting live from Yazoo City. I'm Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us. If you guys are new to us on the Amazon platform, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You see it either here in this corner or down below. You also will see a few things. You'll see some of the books by our guests we're going to be interviewing today, but you also will see some prizes I'm going to be giving away here in Yazoo City myself as well. We have some great guests that are going to be joining us today, both virtually as well as in person, as we're getting ring up for our big day on Wednesday, October the 29th, where we're going for the Guinness World Record of most TV interviews in 12 hours. That's going to be happening at the Clyde Muse Center in Pearl, Mississippi. But you guys will be able to watch us online around the world from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So real excited about that. But today, we're doing one of our pre-shows. And our pre-show includes different guests like what you see today. We're excited to welcome Dr. Velma Bagby back to our broadcast. Going to highlight her book that we actually are giving away here in Yazoo City. That is The Catch No One Wants. Dr. Velma Bagby is not only a marriage coach, she's also an Amazon best-selling author, motivational speaker, and a media personality herself. Dr. Velma Bagby, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Cyrus. It's a pleasure to be with you today. And I'm
Well, look, I'm
excited to be
excited
on
to
the
have you
radio
with us.
station.
Yeah, get excited to have you here with us. If you guys missed it, the radio station celebrated 11 years this year. I've been with them now for 10
Wow.
years. But Dr. Velma, you and I have worked together since this book came out, The Catch No One Wants. Our audience can see there. But there are other books you've written as well. You've had a very busy 2025, Dr. Velma. What has it been like
Yeah.
for you to reflect on this year and all the great things you've been having?
I really can't believe the number of books. I had to go online at Amazon to count the total titles I have now to update my bio. It's been exciting. And the number that I was able to release this year is just amazing. But I'm grateful I had help and support along the way.
Yeah. So, Dr. Velma, for those who may be just discovering you, I want to talk about the why, because one of the things that is so impressive, you celebrated a milestone this year. You've been married now 51 years,
Yeah.
which is an extraordinary in itself. But one of the things that you've been doing this year is helping people understand the importance of preparation. What has that been like for you to be able to share with them what you've been able to learn over the years, but also what can help them in their own relationships?
It's interesting because when I was growing up as a young person, 16, we were prepped, we were prepared, we were taught, we had life skill classes, we had financial um, literacy classes where you learned to manage a checkbook. We had housing responsibilities. We were taught how to manage a household, how all of those life skills we had. And then at my church, we were taught how to prepare to be a wife because we were even told to create a husband to be prayerless. So all of those tools just kind of fell by the wayside, really. And I watched the effects on people's lives not having the tools that I had growing up. And then being
Mhm.
able to be blessed over 50 years of marriage, I just felt like God was saying, it's time for you to share. How does the next person get there? What
Right.
things do they need to do so they can experience what you have? Because I'm asked all the time, what's the secret? Well, there's no one word secret. There's work that's involved in living with another person all this time. So I thought, why not start sharing what I need to share in that fictional series that you talked about giving away one of the first books. I thought,
Mhm.
let me just create the story in a fictional series and see if that will resonate with people, and it really did.
Yeah. Now, the book we're going to be giving away here in Yazoo City, Dr. Valmy, is The Catch
Hmm.
No One Wants. For those joining us on the Amazon side, you all can see it there in the carousel. You guys can get it in print as well as a Kindle edition. But you've given us a fictionalized story of a father and daughter, the
Yeah.
father being Grayson, the daughter being Veronica, and what Veronica is dealing with. And of course, one of the point the finger sometimes at others, like we do, as to why things aren't
Yeah.
working out, but her father being there to kind of help her seeing where she can actually be able to make a change and make a difference. I want to talk about that for a second, Dr. Bauman,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of times it's so easy for us to point the finger at other people and say why this relationship is not working out or why this isn't happening. How important has that been for you in the work that you do to be able to help people see the importance of looking in the mirror?
It's important because, I've had many conversations with like the men who asked me to write about the wrong women to date. I added that to the series. I had
Hmm.
conversations with the women, had conversations with my own husband. And then him during 10 years was a pastor. So we had to counsel, pre-marriage counseling, and watching the pattern and the problems people would bring forth was really based on the fact that they were trying to marry the wrong person. So we just
Hmm.
lost the ability to apply the strategy God has given us to really scrutinize and examine this person. It's like going into business. If I asked you to partner with me, Cyrus, you're going to make sure you scrutinize my business thoroughly. You're going to make
Hmm.
sure that my business says and does what it does. You're going to examine my financials, all of that before you make a decision to partner with me, before you
Right.
sign on the dotted line. Well, it's the same thing for going into a marriage. We don't examine each other anymore. We just fall in love with what we see. And so many people just in a hurry to walk down the aisle. That's the easy part. The
Yeah.
part that takes a lot of work and where your preparation will count is what happens after you leave that wedding event. And so that's where the work begins.
Mhm. Now, I should let our audience know, Dr. Velma, if they're just discovering you, you actually have a free event that's coming up on November the 1st. We're going to talk about that, but I also want to talk about some of the other things you've been able to write about. And yes, you've been involved in when it comes to marriage counseling, as well as, of course, being able to be a motivational speaker, talking about the importance of relationships and marriage. But you've also have talked about other things, including with your book, Hold Your Head Up, Princess, that you released this year. And then one of your newest books you released, one of the things that you've been able to do is to find your voice after corporate laryngitis. What has
Yeah.
that been like for you to show, Dr. Velma, that yes, you may have been known for what you've done when it comes to relationships and marriage, but also there are other things that you're able to talk about as well?
It's important sometimes to be vulnerable and share your personal stories that it will help other people who may be going through something similar. It
Mhm.
didn't dawn on me really, Cyrus, how much I had experienced until I took the time to just examine it based on what I was writing about. I'm going, wait a minute, let me go back to this scene. Wait, hold your head up, Princess. Wait, I remember a time this happened. Well,
Mhm.
if it happened to me, it most likely happened to someone else. And I thought it would resonate with those readers. Finding your
Mhm.
voice after corporate laryngitis, it didn't hit me until I began, after I retired, began writing my very first book. I struggled. I struggled because working as a deputy administrator in state government, I didn't have a
Mhm.
voice. I represented the brand of the company. Everything I talked about and said and wrote about was their message, their framework, all of that. So when I left that, I had to figure out, okay, what is it that I have to say and how do I want to say it? So
Right.
discovering those things and getting to know the literary world was important to me. And so I thought, as my publicist, I have a publicist in Mississippi, by the way, and you might know him.
I think I've heard of him. You didn't say
I
his
have
name, but I think
too.
I've heard of him. Yeah. Yeah.
CW, that's his initial, CW. CW suggested that I expand upon my story and really help others do the same thing that I had to discover. And so that's what that book
Right.
is all about. It's just
Yeah.
giving you the tips and tools that you might not even know
Mhm.
exist that you need to be aware of when you're beginning to discover what it is you want to write about and what those rules are out there that you have to follow.
Right. And I think that is one of the big things here. We're going to talk more about that. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You all are watching Cyrus Represents. We're on Amazon Live broadcasting from Yazoo City, Mississippi at Maximum YAD 94.1 FM. You all can see it there in the back. I want to thank them for hosting us today. It's one of our pregame shows as we're gearing up for our Guinness World Record event taking place
Oh,
on Wednesday, October the 29th in Pearl, Mississippi. We're kicking off a series of conversations both in person and virtually with Dr. Velma Bagby. She's joining us from California today, talking with us not only about the work she's been able to do, but also, of course, how she's been able to use her platform through books and speaking to do that too. So, Dr. Velma, as I mentioned, you have an event coming up on Saturday, November the 1st. Talk to us about the virtual event you're having and why you decided to host it.
I'm so excited about that event. It was time. I've been working, carrying the message that we just talked about concerning dating and relationships and using different strategies that I was taught coming up and sharing those strategies to with people today who may not have had access to those. And I thought it would be a great idea and then had conversation with CW about presenting a conference. And CW, my publicist supported that idea, and I'm excited about it. It's a platform with three speakers, and we get an opportunity to share some of our tips and helpful suggestions, and even share some of our personal journey. Some were
Mm,
good, some were not so good, but how can you learn from those? And so, how do you know that you're ready for what God, you're asking God for? Is the real question. And so, we hope to answer some of those questions, or at least present some of those points during the conference so that you can answer that question yourself, because it's likely it's a no.
mm,
You're not ready.
mm. And I think that's it. It goes back to what we were just talking about, Dr. Velma, right? About being honest with yourself, right? And I think it's one of those
Hmm.
things, you and I have talked about this before, as someone who's never been married, when you kind of hear about people, some of these individuals, especially in the public, right, who are married
Yeah.
a month, you know, 3 months, not even a year, and then not only are they divorced, but then you find them in a relationship with someone else. It really shows how different things have become when it comes to how people look at marriage,
Yeah.
right? And look at the seriousness of it.
Yeah.
Have you found though, Dr. Bama, whether we're talking about your book, The Catch No One Wants, but also your nonfiction
Hmm.
work, that's been one of the big conversations as to how you view marriage as to how people approach it?
Yeah, they devalue it's devalued today, and there's some arrangements they call marriage. It's not even marriage under God's description. And so, what we want to do is go back to the strategy, the blueprint God has given us in His Word, and we've lost that ability. The value of a woman and why she was created for a man, the value of a man and his responsibilities and roles should be honored and respected, and it's not. And so, we go in broken with kind of these misconceptions. And unless we understand really what God's purpose, we're supposed to be a testimony in the world. Marriages are supposed to be an example in the world. And it's falling apart inside the church as well as outside of the church. So it's important to take that message back to the masses and explain what God's intention was all along so that we can honor it better.
I want to talk about building your platform, Dr. Bama, because you had success in the corporate world. What has that been like for you to build your own brand and to be able to see the way that it's grown, especially in the past few years?
I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning, talking about finding your voice. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I had an assignment God had given me and I needed to write it. I needed to talk about it. I
Mhm,
had a guy that was helping me, steering me in the right direction, who was an example of success and who
mhm,
understood branding. And that's what's helped me to discover not only what I've been talking and writing about the last 10 years, but all these other elements you mentioned in terms of the other topics I've covered in my books. Those are things
right.
I probably would not have done had I not had the conversation that I had with you. So I'm
Mm,
grateful that it evolved. I started out thinking I was just going to write one book, actually, one novel. That black one you have, I thought that was a one and done. But
yeah.
it didn't turn out to be that way. The readers loved it so much. Many of the women said, "Where was this book when I dated all these fish in this book?
Mhm,
Where was it when I needed it?" And so that
yeah.
spoke to
Yeah.
me that
Yeah.
I needed to keep doing it. And then, working with you, it evolved into so many other things. I
Mhm,
recognized I had other things to say. And so that's
right.
where it's gotten me this year. I've released more books this year and just the last 2 years, I think. So it's been
That's right.
going well.
And we should say in each one of them being an Amazon bestseller too, Dr. Velma. And I think that in itself says a lot about the need for them, right? And with that being said, you actually just released a brand new book. I don't have it here in our carousel here on the Amazon side, but tell us about the new book and what led to it. See, Dr. Velma, did I lose you?
Well, I froze for a
Oh,
minute. My internet,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, no, no
I missed
problem.
something.
Okay, no, I was just saying I don't have your newest book in our carousel here on the Amazon side, but why don't you tell us about the newest book you just released?
The newest book I just released is about Esther's story. It's
Hmm.
following the pattern of Esther's story. A lot of people talk about the 12 months she spent preparing for preparing for marriage, but it turns out as I dug deeper into that, Esther wasn't just preparing herself for marriage. She went through a period of 6 months in purification where she was letting go of junk, gook, stuff. That was a symbol of getting rid of what she needed to get rid of. And the final 6 months she spent in restoration, which is a symbol of what happens to us after we get rid of the junk and we now want to serve God better. So I created the 30-day journal around that story to really speak to the fact that when we focus on presenting the best of ourselves to God, guess what that does? It creates the best of yourself for that mate that you're looking for.
Mm. Such a great point. And I think it's such a great reminder, too, for us, Dr. Velma, as we kind of think about. I'm going to pull it up for our audience that's joining us here online so they can be able to see it. I have ordered mine as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And as you guys can see, it is a #1 new release here on Amazon. So again, the book is called Following Esther's Process to Purification, Restoration, and Purpose in 30 Days. And Dr. Velma has something very special she's going to be announcing at her conference. So make sure you guys make plans to be able to join her again on Saturday, November the 1st. It's going to be virtual. It's totally free. You will have three great speakers there, Dr. Bama, yourself, Melissa Banks, as well as Tracy Glass. I'm excited about that. Excited to
Yes.
be your producer for that. So we definitely invite our audience. Make sure you guys are following Dr. Bama on social so you guys can be able to see exactly how you can be able to watch it across social. But of course, also catch the replay as well. Dr. Velma, let them know how to be able to stay connected with you and keep up with everything that's going on.
Yes, please. I do have two podcasts, Dr. Velma Talks, where I talk about dating, relationships, and marriage. And then there's Finding Your Voice, based on the book, where I invite others in to talk about their journey to discover what their assignment is. And it could be writing, it could be what they're doing in business, it could be something else they've discovered, but even in ministry. So you can reach me if you want to follow the actual podcast and stay connected to those. You can go on to my YouTube site at Dr. Velma Bagby and just subscribe, and you'll get reminders of when those episodes would air because I got some new things coming in January 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And then as Dr. Velma Bagby on all the social media platforms, and then on my website, drvelmabagby.com. So feel free to connect with me. I look forward to having you. And by the way, my family's from Mississippi. Woohoo!
There you go. There. See, I knew there were some good things about you even before
I
I
got some
got to working
cousins.
with you.
Hopefully, they're listening.
Dr. Bell, so good. Tina's joining us over there on LinkedIn. Hey, Tina, good to
Hey,
be able to see
Tina.
you as well. Tina's going to be joining us at the top of the next hour. So looking forward to that. Last thing I want to talk to you about, Dr. Bauman. And again, we appreciate you joining us as we're in our pregame mode now, gearing up for the big day for our Guinness World Record attempt on Wednesday, October the 29th for most TV
Woohoo!
interviews in 12 hours. We're gearing up for that. But I want to ask you about the importance of starting because there are people who will be watching this, not only for our audience locally, Dr. Bama, but also around the world on Amazon and the other platforms, who would have said, you know what, I've always wanted to write a book. I've always wanted to be a speaker. What advice would you give to people about the importance of just starting and not waiting for their goals and dreams to be realized?
Make sure you don't listen to all the voices out there who will tell you how
Mm-hmm.
to do it, what to do. I can tell you what my marketing teacher said to me because I was unsure. The market was flooded with romance books, marriage books. I'm going, God, what am I going to do? You want me to do this? There's so many out there. And that's when I settled on discovering that Jesus wrote the parables and they were fictional stories. And I was concerned about do I do nonfiction or fiction? And it released my worry because the parables are classified as fiction stories. So
Mm-hmm.
I want you to do your research. Don't listen to what people say in terms of how you should do it. Just
Right.
do it. And that's all. You can do your research, figure out what you need to know about whatever genre you need to do. Take your time because the
Mm.
writing part is easy. Understanding the literary world is the challenge because there are rules attached to, am I writing fiction or am I writing nonfiction? You
Right.
could figure that out later, but just get started. And I can say this, there's no one can say it like you. Whatever you've been
Mm.
given to write, there's an audience waiting for your voice, waiting to hear what you have to say. That's what you want to know. Don't get caught up with the numbers out there in the same genre. They're not you. You were called to write, then just write because there's an audience for you.
Yeah. Such a great thing. Dr. Velma, really appreciate it and appreciate that encouragement. Glad to have you represented for us here at WYAD as well. And looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you, Cyrus. It's been great.
All right. Appreciate you. Want you all to definitely stay tuned. We have more conversations that are coming up. We're up to 750 of you guys over on the Amazon side. Appreciate you guys being with us. Also want to say hello to those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. We're glad you all can be with us. I'm broadcasting from Yazoo City, Mississippi today at WYAD, Max WYAD. And so glad that they could be able to host us today as one of our pregame events we're doing, gearing up for our Guinness World Record attempt. We just heard from Dr. Velma Bagby. We're going to be joined here in person by guests here in just a bit. Miss Gloria Owens is going to be joining us. After that, we're going to have Tina Siemens joining us from Texas virtually. So definitely looking forward to that. After that, we're going over to Georgia, where LaWanna Bradford will be joining us for our conversation. And then we're going to wrap things up here in Yazoo City with Dr. Robert Green. So if you guys have any questions or comments, I see you guys over there on the different platforms. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys do put those in the chat. We're bringing those up. And for those who are joining us here in person at the station, we're about to start our giveaways as well. One of the individuals I've been able to work with is author Colette Harrell. She has her new book that's out right now, Chasing Different. You guys are about to see a little bit about her book. And then after that, we're going to go into our giveaways and our next conversation. So make sure you guys stay tuned.
I kept my heart in quiet places, between the lines of worn-out pages. The world was loud, the love was fake, so I chose stories I could take. Then you showed up like a sunrise, too bold, too bright for my disguise. Smiling out, not asking why, and suddenly I felt alive. But this is safe is where I should be, not chasing sparks of mystery. But somehow you understand.
You're late again. Why don't you set your watch?
I'm not late, just fashionably on my own time. You're the truth I never mentioned, the risk I was too scared to take.
And we are back with Cyrus Webb Presents here at WYAD 94.1 FM, WYADonline.com. If you all are just tuning in, welcome. We just had a great conversation with Dr. Velma Bagby joining us from California. We were talking with her about her book, The Catch No One Wants, but also about her writing journey. Also want to remind you guys, we have conversations coming up both virtually and in person here at Max WYAD in Yazoo City. So we're excited about that. For those of you joining us in person, thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate it. I know we have some others that are coming in. We're going to go ahead and start with our giveaway. So for you guys joining us on the Amazon side, you guys are going to see the items they're going to be winning here in Yazoo City, but you guys can be able to get them for yourself. We're going to start off with something smaller, which is a toothbrush holder and organizer. So this allows you to be able to hold up to 3 toothbrushes, as you can see there. Also toothpaste, of course, your cups for rinsing as well. This is on sale right now for 20% off here on Amazon. I'm going to highlight for you guys on the Amazon side. It's on sale right now for $14.39. This is our first giveaway we're doing here in person. And the winner, the last 3 digits, is going to be 572. 57. Okay, here you go. That is for you. Okay. And you also get a copy of Dr. Velma Bagby's book, The Catch No One Wants. We just talked with her there in California. So you can get a copy of that. All right. Our next item is going to be a belt organizer. I'm going to highlight it for you guys over on the Amazon side here. So this is the 3-holder belt organizer. What I love about this, you can not only just put belts in it, you can also be able to put like your jewelry in it as well. And it's something that you can be able to separate. So I'm going to take it out so you guys can see it. But the cool thing is you can be able to separate it as well. So you can take off each layer and you can have one for your jewelry. Of course, be able to put your belt in it too. It has a top that's on it as well. You can be able to include that too. Or you can just have it stacked like this and have it up on your counter as well. You can see there. So this right now is not on sale, but it is an affordable price. It's $22.99. $22.99 for this 3-belt organizer you guys can see here on the Amazon side. And our winner is going to be, last 3 digits, 574. 57. All right. Okay. This is for you. So go ahead and I'll put this back in the box for you here. Okay. And you also get a copy of Dr. Velma's book there, The Catch No One Wants. There you go. All right. And hold on to your ticket. We are going to be doing other drawings as well. So make sure you guys do stay tuned. As I mentioned, for you guys who are just coming in, we have a conversation that's coming up here in person with Miss Gloria Owens. She's not here yet, though. She's not here. But she's supposed to be coming up at the bottom of the hour. Also, we do have more giveaways coming up, too. Also want to remind you that at the top of the next hour, we're going to Texas to speak with Tina Siemens. She's the author of several books, but her very first book is right here, Seminole, Some People Never Give Up, a great book about her family's history, the perseverance they've been able to have, but also how they've been able to come outside of adversity as well. So we're going to be talking to Tina at the top of the next hour, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We're going to go ahead and do one more giveaway. And this time we're going to do, we'll do the affordable ones first. We're going to do one of our rugs here. This can be used, of course, I use this in the front of my home. You can also be able to use it in your bathroom or your bedroom as well. It has a non-skid feature, so you don't have to worry about it slipping on you as you are coming out of the shower or when you're coming into the house. Let's see, I'm going to highlight it for you guys over on the Amazon side here because we actually have 2 rugs we're going to be giving away today. Let's see, where is it at here? There we go. So I got it highlighted for you guys on the Amazon side. It's on sale right now for 33% off. The regular price is $14.98. It's on sale right now for $9.97. Again, this is an Owen Lee rug here. The last 3 digits, 573. 57. All right. There you go. All right. Okay, hold on to your ticket. Yeah, we have some more that we're going to be giving away as well. All right. So again, for you guys who are just tuning in, I appreciate you guys. We're up to 1,000 over you guys on Amazon. I appreciate you guys being with us. As you guys know, we are gearing up for a big event coming up on Wednesday, October the 29th. That is our Guinness World Record attempt for most TV interviews in 12 hours. That's going to be from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I'm excited about that because we have 50 great guests we're going to be interviewing. The current record for the Guinness World Record is 43. We're going for 50 on that day. So I'm excited we have people coming in from all over the place for that. So I'm excited to be able to have you all with us. If you guys cannot join us in person, and it is free to be able to attend in person at the Clive Muse Center in Pearl, Mississippi. If you can't come in person, don't worry. That's one of the reasons why we're doing these pregame shows as well, because you will be able to watch us no matter where you live around the world here on Amazon. So make sure you guys are following us on the Amazon side. Cybass, hello to you. I think it's pronounced Cybass over on Amazon. Hello to you. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. If you're just tuning in, let me just tell you what's happening. So we're doing a mix of interviews, but also we're doing giveaways as well. I'm actually broadcasting live, as you can see here behind me, in Yazoo City, Mississippi, at the radio station that I'm on here in Mississippi, Max WYED 94.1 FM. They are hosting us for today's show. So we're doing a mixture of in-person interviews as well as virtual interviews. So we kicked off the hour by speaking with Dr. Velma Bagby, who joined us from California. She was talking with us about her first book, The Catch No One Wants, first book that she and I started working together on, but also what it's been like for her to use her platform to help others as well. As I mentioned, we have some in-person interviews that are going to be happening here in Yazoo City. You guys will see here with me, but also we have some other virtual interviews that will be coming up as well. We're going to be speaking with Tina Siemens at the top of the next hour. We also are going to be speaking with LaWanna Bradford. She's going to be joining us virtually as well. Here in Mississippi, I'm going to be joined by Ms. Gloria Owens, but also Dr. Robert Green they're going to be joining us here as well. And for those who are joining us here at the station, we also are doing giveaways too. So we're giving a mixture of conversations, but also products too. And let's see, since we do not have Ms. Owens here yet, I'm going to go ahead and do another giveaway for our audience that's joining us here in Mississippi. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to keep it with the affordable items first for you guys on the Amazon side, and then we'll get to the higher up gifts a little bit later. We're going to go to our insulated coffee cup. You all can see it here. Don't want to unwrap this because it's not my cup, but you can see it does come with a top on it as well. It helps you to keep your hot things hot and your cold things cold. So it's on sale right now for $16.99. For those of you joining us on the Amazon side, you can see it comes in different colors, so you can be able to get different colors on it. But the winner here locally is going to be the last three digits, 574. 574. Who has? All right, okay. So that goes to you. Again, for hot things and for cold things, it keeps them either way. It keeps the hot things hot, the cold things cold. Let's go ahead and get another gift. And this is one you probably want to use it pretty soon because we probably won't need it here pretty soon. And that is a rechargeable fan. So this is a 6-inch clip-on fan. What's great about this is, I'm going to highlight it for you guys on the Amazon side. You don't have to actually clip it on. You can be able just to sit it up on a surface like you see there on the box. So you can't just be able to sit it on a table or wherever you may want it, or you can be able to clip it onto a table as well. So this is $19.99. The other great thing is you don't have to worry about cords or anything like that. You just charge it up like you charge your phone, and then you're able to be able to unplug it and take it wherever you want to. I've actually had people tell me they actually travel with this in the car. If they're sitting in the back, they want to be able to have their own air. This is a great way to be able to do that. The winner is going to be the last three digits, 573. 573. That's you? All right. Okay. Okay. All right. There you go. Enjoy it. All right. All right. And let's get, we'll get another one in. Let's go ahead and get in. We have another rug. This one's from, let's see if I can get it highlighted for you guys on the Amazon side here. There we go. This is from Ashley here. Another area rug they're going to be giving away. And this one is $21.99. So it's a little bit more than the last one that we had. And I'll show this one to you guys because I actually like the material of this. So this is one of these faux fur rugs. You all can see it here. And again, you can use this for in front of the front door. You can use it in the bathroom or just in your bedroom as well. Anywhere you want an accent piece as well. This is $21.99. $21.99 for the faux rug. And the winner is going to be the last two digits. 572. 572. All right. Okay. There you go. All right. Enjoy. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and get one more in. Hopefully, can you check on Miss Owens and make sure she's good? Because yeah, she's supposed to have been here. For 1:30. I'm gonna go ahead and get one more in here. We have a cross bag, and I will take this out so you guys can be able to see it. And this is for men and for women. A great, especially if you are traveling. You have your cross-body bag here. Easy to be able to roll up when you're not using it, but it also has a lot of room to be able to use for your things that you're traveling with as well. It's on sale right now for $16.98. $16.98 is the price for the cross-body bag. And the last three digits, 571. 571. Oh, I think that must be Mr. Thomas there. Yeah. Here, if you want to just take it for him, you can. I'll put it right there. Yeah, that's his. Okay. All right, here you go. Yeah, you can just take it for him. I appreciate it. All right. Thanks a lot. All right. So we have more giveaways that we're going to be doing here in person. But I want to remind you, of course, too, that we have our virtual interviews that are coming up, as well as some of our in-person as well. Hey, how you doing? So make sure you guys do stay with us. We're going to go over on the issue. Did we be able to get her, Mr. Thomas? Okay, good deal. Glad she's going to be able to make it. Hey, how you doing? For you all that are coming in, make sure you guys get a ticket here so we can make sure that we give you guys for the giveaway as well, as we're giving away items here in person, but also having our virtual interviews as well. Go ahead and take just a quick break for you guys over on the Amazon side. I'll be right back here with you.
I kept my heart in quiet places, between the lines of worn-out pages. The world was loud, the love was fake, so I chose stories I could take. Then you showed up like a sunrise, too bold, too bright for my disguise. Smiling out, not asking why, and suddenly I felt alive. But this is safe is where I should be, not chasing sparks of mystery. But somehow you understand.
You're late again. Why don't you set your watch?
I'm not late. Just fashionably on my own time.
You're the truth I never mentioned, the risk I was too scared to take.
All right, and that is for Colette Harrell's book, Chasing Different, her brand new book that is out now. You can get it here on Amazon. I appreciate all of you guys who are coming in. Welcome. You all are watching Cyrus Webb Presents here. I'm broadcasting from Yazoo City at Max WYED 94.1 FM, WYEDonline.com. But you guys are watching us on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. Also want to welcome you guys, all of you tuning in over on the Amazon side as well. This is one of our pregame shows that we're doing as we're gearing up for the big event taking place on Wednesday, October the 29th. And that's going to be for our Guinness World Record attempt of most TV interviews in 12 hours. That's going to be coming up from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. next Wednesday. So if you guys have not done so already, keep in mind that you can be able to watch us in person. It's free to be able to come out to the Cloud News Center in Pearl, Mississippi, where we'll be. Or you can watch us here on Amazon as well, as we're going to be broadcasting for 12 hours straight. Again, going for the Guinness World Record. The current record was set in 2017 in Lebanon for 43 interviews, and we're going for 50 interviews here in the States. So make sure you guys make plans to join us. As I mentioned, too, if you guys came in late and you missed my conversation with Dr. Velma Bagby, don't worry. You will be able to go back and to be able to watch that. We have some other interviews that are going to be coming up here in person here in Yazoo City, but also some more coming up virtually as well. So next up, we're going to be having, we're going to be speaking with Tina Siemens, going to be joining us from Texas at the top of the hour. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. After that, we're going over to Atlanta, Georgia, where we'll be speaking with LaWanna Bradford about her brand new book. And then also we have wrapping us up here in Yazoo City will be Dr. Robert Green. He's going to be joining us here in person as well. We had some new people come in over on the in-person side. So I'm going to do a couple more giveaways while we have some time here. So let's do, tell you what we'll do. We'll do this nice skillet. Let me highlight for you guys over on the Amazon side. We have this 12-inch skillet. You guys can see here a nonstick frying pan. You guys be able to see it. Yeah, see it here. So the regular price is $33.99. It's on sale right now. Well, for $31.99. But you all can get it over here on the Amazon side for $31.99. Again, this is a 12-inch, and it does come with a warranty as well. Let's see. Hey, I appreciate that, Sabaz. Appreciate it. So for you guys joining us in person, let's see who's going to be the winner. The last three digits is 052. 052. Who's all right? There you go. Make sure you haven't put it to work, okay? All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get one more. And let's do, what do we have left? Let's do some earbuds. So we have our Tozo earbuds here. They're on sale right now for 30% off. So 30% off for the Tozo. You guys can see them here. And these work for Android as well as for iPhones. Very easy to be able to pair. They do have the noise cancellation feature as well. The last 3 digits are 574. 574. Is that you? All right, there you go. All right, so see, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and get one more. So let's go ahead and do the sit-up aid. So this is the sit-up aid here. You all can see it here. Easy to be able to put on the floor to be able to make sit-ups a little bit easier as you're gearing up for those new year's resolutions for yourself. Let's see, where is it here on the Amazon side? On Amazon, there it is. It's $26.08. Again, to be able to make sit-ups a little bit easier for you. You guys can see there. And the last 3 digits are 051. 051. All right. There you go. All right. Enjoy. All right. Let's go ahead and get one more in. Let's get one more in. Let's see, what do we have that's left here? We'll do, oh, this is a good one. I would do the Dash Egg Bite Maker. So this is from Dash. I've been working with them for a minute. So this is regular price is $29.99. They have it right now for $28.06. This is the Dash Egg Bite Maker that you don't have to use. It does come with, if you want to be able to make personalized eggs, you can do that, or you can just use the larger surface, as you can see there. I'll show you guys on the back here for it. So let's go ahead and get our winner. Let's see who we got here. Last 3 digits, 050. All right, there you go. All right. Okay. All right. So we are going to go over here, and I appreciate that over on the Amazon side. I appreciate you guys joining us as well as us tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X as well. I'm going to go ahead and put all the tickets in there. We have a couple more gifts we're going to be giving away here in just a minute. Also want to remind you guys, if you have not done so already, make sure you guys do check out the carousel. There you will see all the items that we're giving away today. You also will be able to see the books that we're using for giveaways for today as well. So make sure you guys do watch out for those. Our next book giveaway is going to be from one of Mississippi's own, Melissa Banks. This is her dream journal. You all can see it here. I'm going to highlight it for you guys over on the Amazon side. There, you all can be able to get it for $9.99. Melissa is actually my event coordinator for the Guinness World Record event taking place on Wednesday. Hey, there's my mom too. My mom's watching on Facebook. Hey, Mom. Glad you could be able to join us. I'm behaving myself too while I'm out of town. All right, so the last 3 digits is 050. 050. Oh, I think that was Mr. Thomas. I think that was his number. Yeah, so you can just give it to him there. All right. All right, and we have another book here, and this is from Dr. Anissa Short. Dr. Anissa Short, I'm going to go ahead and highlight it for you guys. The Quintessential Woman, the Success Strategist Guide to Leadership and Legacy from the Proverbs 31 Woman. You can see it there on Amazon. You can get it for $17.99. $17.99, but someone's going to go home with it. The last 3 digits, 572. 572. All right. There you go. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. The next book we're going to be giving away is from Suzetta Perkins. This is Loving Myself, Reese's Story. You all can see it there. Let's go ahead and pull out our number. Let me highlight it for you guys over on the Amazon side there. You can get the print edition of this for $21, or you can be able to get the Kindle edition as well. The last 3 digits is 051. 051. All right. Okay. There you're welcome. There you go. Hey, there's our next interview coming in. Let's see. My mom says that she's glad I'm being good. Of course. You know, you raised me right. You know, I'm going to behave myself when I'm out of town. We're going to do one more giveaway before we have our first in-person interview join us. Let's see. We're going to do, let's do another book from Melissa Banks there, another dream journal there. So I'm going to highlight it for you guys over on the Amazon side. And the winner's going to be the last 3 digits, 571. 571. Who has that? That's okay. All right. There you go. All right, we're going to get set up for our first in-person interview here. For you guys joining us virtually, going to take just a quick 45-second break for you guys. We'll be right back with Miss Gloria Owens. Make sure you guys stay tuned.
I kept my heart in quiet places, between the lines of worn-out pages. The world was loud, the love was fake, so I chose stories I could take. Then you showed up like a sunrise, too bold, too bright for my disguise. Smiling out, not asking why, and suddenly I felt alive. But this is safe, is where I should be, not chasing sparks of mystery. But somehow you understand.
You're late again. Why don't you set your watch?
I'm not late, just fashionably on my own time.
You're the truth I never mentioned, the risk I was too scared to take.
That's me. And we are back with Cyrus Webb Presents here in Yazoo City. And as you see, I have an in-person guest that's joining us now. Miss Gloria Owens is joining us today. Ms. Owens, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So look, we've talked before on the radio show here at WYAD. We've had some great conversations. And you are one of those people that when it comes to history, people know to come to you. What has that been like for you to not only be able to share history, but also to have been a part of history here in Mississippi?
Well, I'm standing on the shoulders of a lot of people, and ironically, it's this radio station that's asking me to share history, but one of the owners here is really my walking book for Yazoo history. Little Joe Thomas Jr., even though I'm older, he's my educator for history here. And I enjoy sharing our shared history because we come from the same neck of the woods here in Yazoo City, Big God Hill, and he has so much history to share about the things that that happened then and now. So I'm very blessed to be sharing this platform with him.
Well, look, he definitely is a person. He's taught me a whole lot as well in the 10 plus years I've known him. I want to talk about Yazoo City because for our audience that's joining us, we have right now over 2,000 that are joining us on Amazon right now, Ms. Owens. We have people joining us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. For those who don't know much about Yazoo City, what is it about Mississippi that has really made you continue to call this home?
The people. A place is just a place without the people. And I have had the opportunity to travel all over the world, and I find it very interesting that I can share things about where my roots are here in Yazoo County, Mississippi. And it's the people, the diverse group of people that I meet along my journeys. They're somehow connected to Yazoo City. So it makes me feel really, really happy, proud, and mostly humble that I can help to share more about what they asked because I'm still here. After 69 years, I'm still here, living here with humility and pride. Most of my family members moved away and some have moved back, but I stayed here to keep the links on.
Yeah. And I think what's been so great, Ms. Owens, in fact, our next virtual guest is joining us from Texas, from Seminole, Texas, and she's really big on history too, on sharing history. And one of the things that she talks about is that the importance of knowing history, for one, to learn from it, but also the things you know that you don't want to repeat. How has history personally impacted you and the way you see life?
First, it's impacted me to have been a part of the making of the history. You know, I love to encourage people to remember that the most important and the most interesting people in the world are those in our family, because without family, we wouldn't have anything else. And to be a part of a family that always instilled in me to know who you are, where you've been, so that you'll know where you're going. So that's the most interesting thing about history to me is first know your family history, share your family history, because other people won't read about our own family history in books. So we have to share that. We have to tell our own family story first, and then we learn together about the other history.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier about the people, the role that the people have played in your own life, Miss Owens. I want to talk about though the youth, because it's been interesting for me. I'm from Mississippi. I've lived here the majority of my life. I'm very optimistic when it comes to young people and what they can contribute to the future. What has it been like for you to see the young people who are coming up and the difference that they're making in life as well?
It's been like another whole degree of college at one of the most prestigious schools that everybody else would think, but learning from those young people. My most interesting job in my whole life was working with a group of teenagers that attended the 4 area high schools in this county, the city, the county, the private, and the public. And they represent 5 different ethnic backgrounds. And my 10 years of working with those students is what taught me about diversity, about the differences that we have and the likeness that we have, the share, what we can share as to put us all together in one big pot of gumbo. That's why I call our youth every ingredient in the big pot of Yazoo gumbo.
Yeah. And so for yourself, as you kind of think about where we are now in 2025, and there are so many great examples, I think, of what people have done here in Mississippi and the impact it's made even outside of Mississippi. Have you given any thought as to the lives that you have touched and the impact you've made on the world?
I haven't thought much about me because I like to think of me as the person who can impact someone else's life in a positive way, particularly the youth. So the gift that I get back now at this young age of 69 is over the past week, I have run into, by chance, 4 of my former students, my former program participants. And the things that they said to me, I never realized that what that little something that I did meant that much to them. But they said it to me, and they have encouraged me so much to know that when I feel like throwing in the towel that I can't, because when I hear them say that to me as adults, and I encountered them while they were youth, and when they say that they would like to impact somebody else, I know that that's my energy to keep going and not give up. So yeah.
I want to talk about, again, for those who are joining us both online, and we appreciate all of you, but also those who are joining us in person, and we're going to be playing this on the radio side as well on my program as well, Ms. Owens. I want to talk about history overall, because I think, right now we're in an interesting place in the world, and especially in this country where some people don't seem to appreciate the importance of history, but also the power of history. What would you say to people who say, is it really important to know all the things that have happened? What would you say to them about that?
Of course, it's important to know. If we don't know what has happened and the sacrifices that people made to get us to where we are today, we're just lost. It's important to know what has happened in the past and embrace it. Whether we agree with it or not, it's our obligation. When somebody has something to say negative about the history, tell them the positive part about that person that they may not like, they may think is so different from them. In a nice, calm way, tell them the history that they don't know. Educate them, and whether they admit it or not, they will be better persons after they've heard that history. So yes, it's important to tell the history. It's important to use the talents of these young people to reenact that history. We can tell. I can read one of the pieces of work that I keep close to my heart that I've gotten from little Joseph Thomas Jr. because he writes things and he preserves it and all. Where I want to hear it now. I want to hear it and put it inside of me. But he collects that information and he has it in writing. And so it's refreshing to be able to go to a place like the Ricks Memorial Library, where I used to couldn't go because of the color of my skin, to read what he's contributed. And not just him, but all of these other young people that have so much to contribute. So yes, It's very important to tell the history over and over. Even when people say, she talks too much. Tell them anyway. Tell them anyway.
I want to talk about this radio station. Again, we're here in Yazoo City. For those who don't know, at you guys can see behind me, Max WYED 94.1 FM. Talk to us about the importance of supporting radio stations locally. I mean, why has it been so important for you to do? And what would you say to our audience about the importance of being able to support their own local radio stations?
Again, it goes back to family and home. If you don't support the home-based station, those other people won't, at the nationally known stations won't even know you. At whatever radio station somebody can think of from New York to California, they won't be able to come into their station like we are in here today. So it's very important to promote the home base first, the home, the family, and it'll take you all over the world.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to ask you about, Ms. Owens, to put you on the spot, you talked about Joseph Thomas Jr. and him sharing history. When can we expect for you to share your story in a book?
A book? I've been writing a book since I was in second grade. I just haven't had a chance to publish it yet. I share bits and pieces of it with certain people, and they ask that same question. But I believe that everybody have different ways to tell their story. Okay. Instead of writing a book, and you've written a book, so you know all of that goes with that. You know, at my age, before I get a book published in Borders bookstore, like I go in there to buy books all the time. Every time I give somebody a gift, it's going to be a book. What's been refreshing for me lately is all of the local people that have written and published their books. Even a little kid got a book in Borders bookstore on the East Coast. You know, that's the kind of thing that I like to promote, as opposed to me writing a book. I saw one of my high school English teachers in a store over in Jackson, and she said, just what you said. When are you going to write that book? When are you going to write that book? I'm still writing on my book since second grade. So maybe it'll be published posthumously. So, okay.
Well, you all heard her say she's 69, so we know we need her to get on it, so we can be able to do it. Miss Gloria Owens, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate you being a part of our broadcast today.
Okay, thank you so much. You caught me totally off guard. I had no idea that I would be coming in here being the first or the last to get on this station, and you telling me I'm all over the world. So before I go, a part of my book is that somebody else will have to publish is doing good for others. So I want to ask the audience and everybody in this room to help me to celebrate my 69th birthday, and let me share something with everybody here. So, and those that's not here, I promise you, I'll see you somewhere in the airport or the Amtrak station, and I'll share it with you. I have a sack full of something that takes me back to my childhood days, sitting on the steps of the Blue Front Cafe in Bentonia, Mississippi. And the thing that I look most forward to was getting out of church to get me a moon pie and an RC Cola. So in observance of my birthday and Make a Difference Day month, where Miss Leola Dillard had the privilege of going to Washington, D.C. to spread that news, domestic violence awareness, breast cancer awareness. I have a sack full of every color moon pies that you can imagine, but none of them top my favorite chocolate in this bag. But I want to share the love, and I want everybody to share with me, not just in October, but all year round. Do something good for others, and that's celebrating yourself. And when your book get published, that's what somebody should remember.
All right, let's give her a hand, y'all. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we want to thank you all again. For those of you who are watching us on the Amazon Live platform, we're at 2,800 of you guys over there on Amazon. Thank you so much. Those of you tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad you all can be with us. Want to thank Miss Gloria Owens for being on with us. We're about to bring in my friend from Seminole, Texas. Amazon bestselling author Tina Siemens is coming up next. She's the author of 3 books, including this one, Seminole, Some People Never Give Up. She has her book, The Little Sandals That Could, as well as her new book, Post Oak. Tina, thank you so much for being on with us. Really appreciate it.
Good afternoon, and thank you. And wow, what an inspiration Miss Owens was. Tell her that she needs to write her book. I was so encouraged.
Wasn't that inspirational, Tina?
Yes, she was. And her final thought, do something good for somebody else. Now, that's the message of today. She was awesome.
Tina, I tell you, it is, it was, yeah. Oh,
You're lagging. You're lagging just a little bit behind. Can you hear me?
Okay. Well, Tina, I'm so glad to have you on with this, and it's perfect timing on with Miss Gloria Owens here in Yazoo City to have you on, because history is such a big part of what you've been able to write about, including your own family history. So let's start there, Tina. What has it been like for you to share your own history with the world and see people connect with it?
Well, like Miss Owens said, if you don't tell your own family history, who will? It is our obligation to tell our own history. And it goes back to what God told the children of Israel when they left Egypt. When you lie down, when you walk by the wayside, when you sit down, talk to your children or the next generation of where I have brought you out of, which was Egypt. They were now in the wilderness on their route to the promised land, but he wanted them to remember where they had been. And so for us to tell that history, where have we been? What have we experienced? It is my obligation to tell my family's history. And I love that Miss Owens confirmed that as well, because if we don't, then who will? And so nobody can take my place, and I can't take somebody else's place. So for me to do my duty in the gift that I've been given is an obligation for the future.
And Tina, that's such an important thing, because I mean, when people, and I think about when you and I first start working together with this book, with your first book, and of course you published 2 others since then, I think writing is one thing, talking about it is another. It's been so great seeing you, though, being able to open up and to do speaking engagements now, and you now, of course, hosting radio shows and hosting programs with me. What has it been like for you to see your own growth as you've been able to share not only your own family history, but also making your own history?
It is such a privilege for one to step out of the comfort zone and to know that your impact can keep on growing. What we have to offer to somebody else. I often think of Dr. Velma when she was like, the market is flooded with certain types of books and certain types of topics, but there's always room. If God has put a topic on your heart, then there will be an audience that will receive that topic. And for me to have been able to spread from just wanting to have a written account, that was all that Seminole started out with, to have a written account for my children and grandchildren. And then it was available to my community, my family, and now it's available to the world. And so for me to have seen that growth, I couldn't have done it without me. And so I think of that turtle that sits on top of the fence post. He had some help. And for me to have been able to embrace the help that others were willing to give me is the growth that I so appreciate on this journey.
Yeah. I want to talk about the importance of history. I just talked to Ms. Owens about that as well, Tina, because I think a lot of times people don't realize the importance of history. What is it that started you to say that your family's history is something that needed to be recorded and shared?
I often think of the quote that Winston Churchill said, "Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it." For me to share not only the hardships, but also the victories was so important, because not only in my culture, but across the world, people go through similar experiences. And for me to share how my family, how I was able to overcome some of these challenges, was my prayer that somebody might be able to just listen to that and be encouraged to make a difference, to make a change in their world and go be the voice that somebody else might need to be encouraged. And so for me, that was my highlight, is to be able to share with others what I have experienced, and hopefully they will be able to glean from that.
Yeah. So I want to talk about fear for a moment, Tina. You and I have talked about that in other conversations, because I think for a lot of times people have the fear of, what people are going to think about the work that they've done, or, can they even do it? Can they even write a book? Can they be able to talk about a book? What has helped you in your life to be able to overcome that fear, or even, as I've learned to do it afraid?
That is exactly right. Doing it afraid is sometimes the best way to move forward, because that makes you cautious. That makes you not haughty, like, oh, look what I did or what I can do. But it makes you humble to say, this is a privilege of being able to do what I'm doing. And so for me to be able to say, I was able to have the opportunity to put my thoughts and my family history on a book form, on pages that somebody else can now glean from by reading it. It is doing it afraid, because that keeps you humble. That keeps you, I can't do the verse, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That is my motto. It is not me out of my own strength. It is all God giving me the opportunity, and I'm a vessel that he can use. And for me to be able to say, speak, Lord, for your servant hears. That is my ultimate goal, is to whatever I do, whatever I say, is to bring glory back to him.
Yeah, I love that. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You all are watching Cyrus Webb Presents on Amazon Live. We're simulcasting this today on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. Part of this will be also used for our program here at Max WYED 94.1 FM, WYEDonline.com as well. We've been having now, this is our third conversation of this particular segment as part of our pregame for our upcoming Guinness World Record event that's taking place on Wednesday, October the 29th. We started off today's show by talking with author Dr. Velma Bagby. Then we have Ms. Gloria Owens joining us here in Yazoo City. Now we're speaking with Tina Siemens, joining us from Seminole. Tech. You're in Seminole right now, aren't you?
Correct. Yes, I am.
Tina's like me. She does so much traveling. I have to make sure that she's actually where I think she is. So Tina, I want to talk about your newest book. So we're giving away this book here today, Seminole, Some People Never Give Up. And I'm going to highlight it for you guys over on the Amazon side. But I want to talk about Post Oak for a moment, because it's a great example of what I talked to with Ms. Owens, that not all history is pleasant. Not all history is easy for people. But why was it important for you to talk about the difficulties that you recorded in the book Post Oak?
That's a great question. And for me, timelines speak. For every story, there's a beginning and there's an end. Just like a human being, they have the day that they're born, and then they go through life, a journey, and then there's the day of our passing. But it's not those two dates that really matter, but the dash, the time that span between those dates. So that makes a timeline. And for me to tell the ending of a certain story, which Post Oak is, it connected to my personal family, there had to be a beginning. And so I started where the story began. And so often we get bits and pieces of a certain story, but if it's not the beginning and the end, you may get a totally different feel or a totally different viewpoint of that certain story. But then if you go from the beginning to the end, then all of a sudden it makes sense. There's a theme throughout that book and that journey. And in that journey is many, many things that we can glean from. The hard history that we as Americans know, that the world knows, we can glean so many aspects and lessons out of that journey. And so for me to start from the beginning, where does that story begin? What time setting? What was the circumstances nationally and in that particular family? What was the whole story about? And that sets the stage for the ending to be written about.
Yeah. I want to talk about one other thing, and you and I have talked about this as well, Tina, in our conversations about the newest book, Post Oak, because yes, we're talking about what was happening with the settlers and the Indians there, but also the impact on the land. I want to talk about impact for a moment, because a lot of times we don't think about the impact of our actions, not only on people, but also the places that we visit. Why was that important for you to make sure that you shared that in Post Oak about how the damage was done to the land and the implications of that?
Well, from the time the natives roamed the countryside, they always followed the buffalo. The buffalo was their food. It was their shelter. It was their clothing. It was everything to them. And so they did not stay in one spot. And yes, we have grown accustomed to a lot of people live in the house that they were born in. So they have a footprint, and it's not all negative. But the beauty about what the natives did, they journeyed behind the buffalo. And so they did not stay in one spot. They followed the seasons. They ate off of the land, what the land produced, and the health benefits. I love health. And so the health benefits that they were able to glean from living off the land, living not in an industrial part where everything is manufactured. And we see the impact on our national health today because of the lifestyles that we have grown accustomed. Because back then, everyone had a garden. Everyone, it started off with the natives, they just lived off the land. But then the settlers, they came in and they gardened the land. But from then to today, with mass productions of greenhouses, of hothouses, the nutritional value has been lost. And we see that in our health. We see the decline. And so I think for me, that was one of the biggest impact and the aha moment of what I felt. The natives were so mourning the loss of that when they were all forced to be moving to the reservation, eating the canned goods and the things that they did not pick themselves, they didn't have their herbs that the earth gives forth. It was such a loss to the natives, and they mourned that. It angered them. And so therefore the raids. And so I understand the impact that it had on them. And so for me to know that part of history, it makes me really sad that we have those chapters, because when 35 million buffaloes were roaming our United States at one point, and then they were paid to shoot those buffaloes just to make the natives be willing to stay on the reservations. I just cringe at the thought of such loss, because it was not only an impact to the land, but to the people as well, for both sides of the fence. And but then if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't have the opportunity to be here in West Texas the way I am today. So it's such a balance of things. You just have to take it with a grain of salt and say, Lord, you knew what was happening then, and I praise you for the opportunity that I have today. May all that we do today leave a positive footprint, just as our ancestors did.
Yeah, such a great point, Tina. Tina, that brings us to the last thing I want to talk to you about. And as I mentioned for our audience, after my conversation with Tina, we're going over to Atlanta, Georgia to speak with my friend LaWanna Bradford. But Tina, I want to ask you about something that you've been talking about recently, and that is being a bridge. I think it's so important because we live in a world right now that is so divisive. Unfortunately, you and I, we host a program together here on Amazon every Monday. A shameless plug for that at 10 a.m. Central Time. Words I choose to live by based on my book. And we try to talk about the importance of that positivity, but also bringing people together. Why has it been so important for you, Tina?
Often people, they just need that little extra help. They may be well on their way, well on what they hope to do in their future. But then if there's a creek, if you're very, very tired and you should swim across a fast flowing river. You may not have that energy to do so. And if there's a bridge, even if it's a helping hand or a smile or a phone call, that might be enough of a bridge to help that person get to the other side so that they can continue their journey. So for me, and that is my beautiful Comanche name that the Comanches gave me, Puiite Posakani, meaning a bridge. For me to be able to be that bridge, it is truly an honor. And I do not take it lightly, because every day that I live, I want to be a bridge for somebody to be able to get from this side to the other. And that's the use of a bridge, is just a helping hand to that. Like Miss Owens said, do something good for somebody else. Right. Being that bridge is, it doesn't have to cost a lot. It can be an encouraging word. And then you're a bridge. So for me to be able to be that, I truly cherish that honor.
Love that. Again, everyone, Tina Siemens has been our guest. She's an Amazon best-selling author, speaker, as well as a media personality herself. As I mentioned, she's a co-host with me of Words That Choose to Live By on Amazon Live. You guys can catch us every Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Her first book is seminal. Some People Never Give Up. We're going to be giving it away here in just a bit. Tina, but let our audience know how to stay connected with you.
I would love to hear from you. I'm on all social media platforms as Tina Siemens, and you can go to my website, seminalthebook.com, or reach out to me on one of the websites. I would love to hear from you.
All right. Well, Tina, I'm going to break protocol here. I'm going to actually, instead of giving away both books by numbers, I'm going to make sure Miss Owens gets one of your books. But I'm also going to go ahead and pull a number for the second one. Let's see who's going to get it here that we have. Last three digits is 052. 052. 052. All right. Okay. We have a winner. And I'll make sure to get a picture for you as well, Tina. Okay.
Awesome.
Tina, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you being with us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Blessing.
All right. All right. And we definitely thank all of you. We're up now to 3,830 of you guys over on Amazon. Appreciate you guys. Remember, our goal for Wednesday, October the 29th, is 50,000 of you guys to join us for the day. Again, we're going to be doing our Guinness World Record attempt from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So it's a long day. You guys have a lot of time to join us. We're going for the most TV interviews in 12 hours. The current record was set in 2017 in Lebanon. We're going for 50 on October the 29th. So I hope you guys will be a part of it. Have some great guests that are going to be there with us in person at the Clyde Muse Center in Pearl, Mississippi. So make sure you guys come out. Admission's free. So make sure you guys come out and be a part of that. Our next guest is someone I've known now for over a decade. She's going to be joining us virtually today. LaWanna Bradford is not only known for what she's been able to do in business, but also in life. She published her first solo book this year. I'm going to highlight for you guys on the Amazon side. It's called I Pledge Allegiance. You all can see it there. I'm going to talk to LaWanna not only about this book, but also what's been like for her to use her platform to help people both personally and professionally. LaWanna, thank you so much for being on with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Cyrus. And Cyrus, you said we've known each other a decade. Do you know it's almost 2 decades?
Oh my! Well, so now you're aging both of us, LaWanna. See, I could get away with a decade, but now that you say it's almost 2 decades, isn't that crazy though? So LaWanna, I said you were in Atlanta. You travel as much as I do. Are you in Atlanta right now?
Yes, I'm in Atlanta.
Okay, all right. Now. Okay, all right. Look, I have to ask these questions sometimes. I'm like, okay, I know that's where you're based at. So LaWanna, a lot for us to talk about here. I want to begin, though, by talking about 2025. I mean, and I know, and a lot of people, LaWanna, I think can resonate with your story because you've had a lot going on personally and professionally. You had a loss personally. You shared that with the world. You've used your platform to share that. But professionally, you've been on fire, really, not, of course, with the book, I Pledge Allegiance, that our audience can get here on Amazon, but also in showcasing your platform. What has that been like for you to see how 2025 has been one of those years that's been kind of bittersweet in some ways, but also a blessing as well?
Yeah, I was just talking to someone about that last week, and that's the irony, right? You think, okay, I'm going through this loss and this grief period, and you think life is going to just stop. But in the grief, in the reflections, that's when I found some of the greatest opportunities were coming my way. And I could either sit on the sidelines and say, no, I'm gonna sit here for a minute longer, or I could just rise up and say, I'm gonna take this. And each time I decided to rise, I found myself getting stronger and more empowered, my voice becoming more refined, my why being very much played out for the world to see. I think you and I talked maybe 4 or 5 years ago about me hiding behind the name, the Bradford Group, right? And it's like, okay, but LaWanna, who are you? And so 25 has been a year where if you haven't seen who LaWanna is, I don't know where you've been, because I'm out there. I'm out there being very raw, very transparent, but also still very deliberate and intentional when it comes to my platform with business and helping individuals as well as small businesses remain relevant in changing markets.
Yeah. I want to talk about that for a second, LaWanna, because I think it's an interesting balance for people. I tell people I'm an introvert by nature. You couldn't tell by the job I do for a living. But I'm a person who is more reserved, and I went through my own loss with my grandmother in 2014, as you know, and I shared that publicly, and the challenge I went through with that, going through depression at time and feeling lost and then trying to find my way as I move forward. You losing your father now a year ago and going through that personally, but also literally you have created this online diary where we kind of went through the loss with you. We went through the journey forward. We went through the feelings. What has that been like for you to think about, that you've kind of created this? You talk about, sharing yourself. You really have shared this, not only this online diary, but also the reflections as well. Have you had time to even think about that, what you've done, not only in processing for yourself, but also helping other people to process?
I have reflected on it. It's definitely been cathartic for me. And I think I've been overwhelmed by the number of individuals who've come to me and thanked me for being so transparent, or even sharing what Dad and I meant to them, because Dad and I, our journey was long before, his last year. I mean, ever since I've been on Facebook, I've been just sharing our relationship. And I didn't realize people were really tuning into it as much as they were. And I think that's been a blessing, because it's a relationship that I will forever, ever treasure, because you always hear me say he was not only my dad, but he was my mentor, my coach, and my best friend. And so to lose him, I felt like all of that was gone. And as you said, how do you discover the new you? Because I'm forever changed. And it was, navigating this pathway and feeling comfortable with walking independent now, even though spiritually he's still there, but just that independent walk on this plane, it's different. Yeah.
And I think that is what has made your strategic insights. If you guys are not following LaWanna, you'll see her now, of course, getting her steps in, but also sharing in real time, these nuggets that you've kind of gained. I think that's a great connection in many ways, LaWanna, to your first solo book. So I should mention, LaWanna has been a part of anthologies before, but this is her first book with only her name on the cover. It's also the Amazon bestseller. Someone here is going to be winning that, LaWanna, here at the radio station. So I'm excited about sharing that picture with you. I pledge allegiance. I've even said to you, that's not the book I thought LaWanna Bradford would be. You're known for business. You've known for inspiring. I would not have thought this would be the book that you wrote. How did this become your first solo book?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that either. If you had asked me, if you had told me a year ago, LaWanna, you're going to write a book that has historical content, especially with American history, I would have wondered, why would I do that? But this came about just, us living life right now in these new and rapidly changing environments. And in March of this year, I found myself growing a little angry. And so I just started journaling my thoughts and my feelings. And after a while, I looked at my journal and I said, LaWanna, I think you have the makings of a book here. Yeah. And so I Pledge Allegiance is really challenging us as Americans with what do we really believe? What do we truly stand for? And this pledge, does it really represent us? And it's a hope and a promise, right? So how do we make the pledge and the systems that help to gird it, if you will, ensure that we actually live it, and that's not something we write or something we recite. And so that's literally how it came about. It was my journal entry, and I'm a patriot, just diehard. I guess I get it from my dad, but I truly am a patriot. I love this country, despite the challenges we've had, despite our history. I truly love this country, and I just thought this was the time that people saw not only this side of me, but allow themselves to do a little introspection as to what do you really believe?
Yeah. I was sharing with someone recently, LaWanna, about this book, because when they asked me about it, they were surprised that I had read it and enjoyed it. Because as you know, I'm a person who stays away from politics in my work. But I told people this is not a political book. It's a people book. Is that something that you've been sharing with people? Well, that this book is not about LaWanna's politics or her views on politics. It really is about who we say we are and what we stand for.
Yeah, 100%. It is definitely a people book. It's a reflection on the earliest, outside of our parents, really the earliest indoctrination for those of us who were born in this country. We go to school and then we learn this. And I don't know about you, Cyrus, but I don't recall my teachers really breaking this down as to why this was important to say.
Yeah.
And so that's where it comes about. It's like, okay, what do we really believe in? How has this even shaped us and how we show up for one another as citizens, as humanity? Mm-hmm. You know, politics aside, this is still a promise, and it's still very hopeful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think, too, just the title itself, I think is thought-provoking, LaWanna, because when someone makes a pledge, that's supposed to mean something, right?
Yes.
And unfortunately, we live in a time where what people say doesn't mean as much. So it's really interesting, I think, from that perspective as well. So talk to us then about how you've been able to walk this line, LaWanna, of being able to build your own personal platform, which I think is important for all of our audience to be able to do, no matter what profession they're in, but also to expand on things you've been doing. Your R3 system is something else that you've been able to share a lot this year as well. So what has that been like for you to kind of have these two branches professionally you've been able to do that really do showcase what the work that you've dedicated yourself to?
I think both of them actually complement one another, because we're not just business, right? We're multidimensional, multifaceted, and we tend to only want the world to see one side of us. So the Pledge of Allegiance really speaks to my value system. I do what I do because of my beliefs. And when you understand that, then you understand why I'm so passionate about helping businesses to grow, to remain solvent, because through that we have improvements in our communities, sustainability, building for the next generation. So it all really complements one another. It may seem very, very divergent, but it's not.
Right.
And so what I've been doing is kind of parlaying both of those sides of the coin, but doing so with the right audiences, right? I'm not going to go to a business meeting and talk about a Pledge of Allegiance, but I will talk about your value structure and how you show up for your clients, for your stakeholders.
I want to talk about that because one of the things LaWanna and I talked about in our private conversations, LaWanna, I hope you don't mind me mentioning this, is that when you were telling me about the book, I'm like, okay, LaWanna, but this is going to be a new audience because this is you stepping out in a new way. What has that been like for you to see people who may not have known what you've done when it comes to helping with mortgages or, the other work you do? What has it been like for you now to be able to be embraced as not only a published author, but also an authority in that space?
It's been, I would say the journey has been interesting because I've been featured on numerous platforms, not just written media publications, but also on different radio stations. And I've been like in the heartland where, there's this very divisiveness. And I've had to be able to, softly and gently, again, respect the house that I'm in, but let them know, no, we're not going down this divisive racial lane. That's not what this book is all about. So it's allowing me to really challenge people to say, why is it that the only way we can have conversation about the progress of this nation is to talk about things that divide us? What about talking about things that unite us?
Right. And I think too but you know what, LaWanna, when you say things like that to me, that's a great indicator they haven't read the book. And I think this is the mistake that so many people make. They talk about things that they haven't even looked into. They may see a title or may see a cover and just have in their mind what someone has to say. What do you say to people about the importance, for one thing, of becoming knowledgeable about any topic? And you've discussed this in your strategic insights as well, about being knowledgeable, but also being open to hearing from others too.
Yeah, I believe that when you, first of all, own what your beliefs, right, and own the message that you're putting out there, you are a more force for improvement in the world when you sit and try to understand where someone else is and where they're coming from. We all have this long list of, lived experiences that make us who we are today. It's not right or wrong. It just is. Now, how do you allow someone to accept them for that? And then hopefully they do the same for you. And that's where I think negotiations and other things happen. You have to get to a point where you can truly see and hear the other person. So again, from the highest of offices to the classroom, if you can't do that, then you're going to find yourself always at an impasse.
Yeah, such a great point. Again, everyone, LaWanna Bradford is our guest. For you guys on the Amazon side, her book, you guys can see there, I Pledge Allegiance. The full title is A Journey Through the Words That Shaped a Nation. You all can see it there. Also, you can see her Amazon best-selling spot there on the book. We're going to be giving this away here in Yazoo City. LaWanna, now make sure that I take a picture. The winner of LaWanna's book, the last three digits are going to be... Last three, 571. 571. All right. Okay. All right. I'll get a picture with you later. All right. LaWanna, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you?
You can stay connected with me on all things social media. I'm easy to find, LaWanna Bradford, or go to my website, LaWannaBradford.com. Would love to meet, connect with you, and just have a conversation.
LaWanna, last thing I do want to ask you about before we let you go, and I appreciate you being a part of our pregame show here, and that is about, and I mentioned this earlier to Dr. Velma, who started this off an hour and a half ago. That was about the importance of starting. I find people, here we are now, we're in the fourth quarter of the year. This year is moving quickly. We're about to hit November next week. What do you say to people who've been kind of sitting on the sidelines and having ideas but not moving? What advice would you give them about the importance of starting?
It's interesting that you asked me that, because at the beginning of this month, I actually did a talk on that. That you can have a vision for yourself, but you may find yourself sidelined or on the bench. Well, the question you have to ask yourself is, who put you on the bench? So maybe you put yourself on the bench because of fear, right? You just don't know what you don't know. Will I be accepted? Will it work? Will it not? So you get in your limited thinking. Or perhaps, I'm a person of faith, maybe God put you on the bench for a season so that you could grow, you could expand, you could get your training, your coaching, everything that you need, that when it's game time, you're ready to go full out and win. So I would just encourage anyone that feels a little stuck to ask yourself, because if you're stuck, you're on the bench. Why am I on the bench? And if it's me talking negative to myself, let me try to spin that and ask, what if it works? What if people like this idea? What if I'm celebrated? And the one thing I want to end with, Cyrus, is someone told me a long time ago, and I love this statement. They said, if you are not willing to stand up and applaud yourself, don't expect the world to.
Yeah.
So you just have to have that belief. You have to own it and step out on the playing field and dominate and expect to win.
Such a great reminder, LaWanna. Thank you so much. LaWanna, thank you so much for your 2 decades of friendship. It's been great watching you both personally and professionally rise and thrive, and looking forward to seeing you soon. Really appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks so much, Cyrus.
And more than
Bye.
welcome. And we thank all of you for joining us for our pregame here at Max WYED 94.1 FM in Yazoo City, Mississippi. Want to thank all of our guests we've had today. I also want to thank our Amazon partners for providing the items for our giveaways, all the authors as well. I should be sharing pictures of that. I do want to remind you guys, though, that the big day is coming up on Wednesday, October the 29th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Clyde Muse Center in Pearl, Mississippi. We're going for the Guinness World Record of most TV interviews in 12 hours. You all can come out and watch us live. You don't have to stay for the whole day if you don't want to, but there will be chairs there as well as vendors there for you guys to be able to enjoy. But I'll be interviewing 50 amazing individuals that day to break the record that was set in 2017 in Lebanon. We're bringing it back to the States, and you guys can be a part of that. So again, if you guys have any questions or about the event or the location, you can find them on my social media. We've been posting about it. You'll find more information about that as we're leading up to the day. I want to thank, again, the station here for being able to host us today. Really appreciate that. It's great to be back in Yazoo City for this. And until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.